In this session, we are going to understand the concept of factors influencing wages and salaries administration. Various factors that have significant impact on the decision making of wages and salaries fixation. We are going to understand in this session. The nature and compensation system or compensation package fixation is influenced by several factors that are within the organization or from the external environment in which the organization is operated. An effective understanding of various factors influencing the wages and salaries will give insights about how these factors influence the decision making related to wages and salaries fixation or compensation administration. Let us see these factors one by one. All the factors that influence compensation administration is divided into two categories. One is external factors, second one is internal factors. External factors will explain the market conditions, government legislations, and industry scenario. Internal factors will explain the organization's ability or capacity and its strategies in terms of compensation fixation. So both external factors and internal factors will have a major influence on the compensation administration of the organizations. Let us see the first aspect, external factors. External factors include different factors such as labor market scenario or labor market conditions, labor legislations, and comparative pay scales, cost of living, level and sophistication of technology that is adopted, geographical location, impact of globalization on fixation of wages and salaries, and collective bargaining. In internal factors, the organization's ability to pay, corporate philosophy of the organization, HR policies and strategies of the organization, and job evaluation reports. First one, labor market scenario. Labor market scenario or labor market conditions. They will explain about the demand for a specific set of skill set or the demand for specific category of employees in relation to the supply or availability of these skill sets. So it tries to measure the gap between demand for the required skill set of employee skill set and categories of employees and the availability in the market. They will decide the fixation of compensation. If the demand for specific categories of employees or specific skill set is very high, where the availability and the supply of the skill set or the employees are very less, then there is a huge requirement for this type of employees. In such a case, the organizations do not hesitate to pay huge amount of salaries to attract the candidates because the demand for these skills are very, very high. Opposite to it, when the demand for a specific set of skills is lesser than the availability or supply, then the organizations may try to get the good candidate or potential candidates at average salary because the supply is very, very high. So demand in the market for the specific skills will decide demand for a specific skill set of employees, and supply or availability of those skill sets in the market will decide how much compensation should be fixed. So labor market situation or labor market conditions will influence the compensation mechanism. Second one is labor legislations or labor laws, how they are going to have influence on the compensation administration. So labor laws and regulations have significant impact on wages and salaries administration. Government has statutorily enacted certain laws in relation to the compensation or wages and salaries administration. So the employers are strictly to be following these enactments. Otherwise, they can be punished. So government is strictly enforcing these laws, and the employer has to follow or implement these laws without any violations. Let us try to understand what are those labor laws in relation to the wages and salaries administration. The first one is Payment of Wages Act 1936, which is explaining about the mode of payment to the employees and the time of payment to the employees and the deductions part, how or on what basis deductions to be done, if in case unauthorized deductions are happening, what actions should be taken, if authorized deductions to be happening, how they are to happen. So these type of things will be understood in Payment of Wages Act. So the main aim of Payment of Wages Act is regularizing the payment of salaries and regularizing the mode of payment of salaries and regularizing the deductions part is in Payment of Wages Act 1936. Minimum Wages Act 1948 will explain different industries will have different types of working conditions, and different industries will need different types of skill sets. So minimum wages will tell what is the minimum wage to be given per worker when they are into different industries for different classes. So this minimum wage should be certainly provided to the workers. Next one is Payment of Bonus Act 1965. Payment of bonus, we'll see that as per the act, people who are receiving 21,000 or below, they are eligible to receive bonus within the percentage of 8.33% to 20%. So the eligibility to get bonus is the individual employee should receive 21,000 or less. Next one is Payment of Gratuity, which will tell about the length of service in the organization should be recognized as a sort of gratitude. So gratuity amount should be paid to the employees. So to decide how much amount to be paid under gratuity, the length of service is considered. And Equal Remuneration Act 1976, it tells about both women and men should be paid equally. There should not be any gender discrimination or disparity. When the same work is done by male and female, no differentiation can be shown. This is clearly implemented as per Equal Remuneration Act. These are all several labor enactments that are done by the Government of India about compensation administration. Third factor that influences compensation is comparative pay scales. The employer or the organization must understand how the wages are paid in the industry, or how wages are paid in the companies that are doing same business or similar business. So it will be beneficial to the employer to fix the wages when he is understanding what is the average payment in the industry, or what is the highest payment in the industry, or else how other companies are giving, or how competitors are giving. When he is able to understand these things, he can fix the compensation effectively. So he should understand the market uh, rates prevalent in the industry. Next factor that influence cost of living is compensation is cost of living. As we can see, the prices of the products are increasing day by day because of inflation. The value of rupee is going down, and the cost of living has been increased, and it is getting increased day by day. Government of India has introduced DNS allowance with a purpose that employees should meet the rising costs or to meet the cost of living. So this DA is added to this basic so that individuals will be able to meet the increased cost of living. Though DNS allowance is implemented, but it is not fully meeting the requirements of the employees to have a better standard of life. And at the same time, this DA is unable to give full-fledged protection to meet the cost of living. Only to some extent, this DA is giving benefit to the employees. Next factor that influences compensation is the type of technology or the level of technology, sophistication in technology. See, when the works are done manually or the jobs are normal jobs, can be replaced by anyone or can be done effectively. We don't need much sophistication in terms of skills. These employees are available everywhere. So when people are available everywhere, we may not give more salaries to them because supply is too high. But there are certain jobs which require sophisticated skills in handling the technology. Definitely, the companies are offering high salaries and they show interest to pay more salaries because they need the people to handle the level of technology that is implemented in the organization. When there is a skill deficit in the organizations, they are ready to pay more and more to get that type of skills from outside the market. Until and unless the organizations are sophisticated with technology or technologically upgraded, they cannot survive in the competitive scenario. When the organizations are upgrading themselves, obviously the employees should also upgrade their skills to handle these technologies that are implemented. So in the process of that, the organizations have deficit of required skills. Definitely, they are going to get from outside, and they are ready to pay more and more. So level of technology and sophistication of technology will play a crucial role in determining the fixation of wages and salaries. Next one is geographical locations. Where is the company located, or what is the place of business happening that decides the amount to be paid to the employees. When the organization is located at cities, tier 1 cities, tier 2 cities, definitely the cost of living is very high and the industry payment rates are also very high. the organizations have to pay more and more. Opposite to it, when the organizations are located at semi-urban or attached to rural areas, the industry rates are low, and at the same time, people are available to work at lesser salaries because of the cost of living is very less. So, on the basis of the location of the business, the salaries will be fixed. Next factor that will influence is collective bargaining. Collective bargaining also influences the compensation mechanism or wage and salaries administration, because the unions will try to exert more pressure on the employers to give or increase the salaries, or to give more bonuses, or to get whatever demands they have. So if the unions are very strong, the employer has to increase the wages and salaries because of the pressure. So collective bargaining will also influence the level of amount of compensation to be fixed. Let us try to understand the internal factors that will influence the compensation or wages and salaries administration. In internal factors, we have capacity of organization to pay, corporate philosophy of organization, HR policies and strategies, and job evaluation reports. Let us see the first one, capacity of organization to pay. Financial strength of an organization will definitely determine the amount to be paid or compensation to be fixed. If the company has good financial condition, when it definitely will try to give more and more salaries. Sometimes organizations will have willingness to pay more and more, but their financial strength is not good. In such a case, they cannot pay. If the organizations will try to think of giving industry best wages and salaries, definitely they have to see that their production is increased, and the cost of the product is also increased because of high wages. In such a case, big companies where the sales are very high, they can manage. Opposite to it, when small firms or mid-sized organizations, when they are increasing the wages and salaries, they are going to influence the price of the product. In turn, they may not perform well. So that is the reason why the organization's ability or capability to pay will decide how much amount to be fixed in terms of compensation. Next one, corporate philosophy of organization. The philosophy, vision, mission, and of the organization will decide the compensation structure. If the philosophy of the organization is that they will give the salaries beyond the average market rate, or they will give salary the best in the industry, they are going to attract more and more number of candidates. Though the company is good, but the philosophy of the company is like they will try to give salaries on not on par with industry, but average salaries that the employees are going to receive. It is purely on the basis of philosophy of the organization, whether they will give the best salaries in the industry or average salaries to the employees. It is purely philosophy of the organization. Next one is HR policies and strategies. HR policies and strategies will determine how much compensation should be fixed, because the environmental influences will definitely affect the HR policies continuously. Let us take the example of promotion. In the case of promotion, HR should clearly determine what is the requirements for promotion and how much amount to be paid when a candidate is being promoted. In the case of promotion, what is the fixed salary, and because of other environmental influences, how these salaries are affected, everything is understood in terms of HR policies and strategies. Sometimes to attract more and more number of candidates, the company may give high salaries irrespective of the experience. In such a case, companies are paying more and more. So HR policies and strategies definitely influence the compensation structure. Next one is understanding the jobs and their work. That is job evaluation. Job evaluation is measuring the relative worth of each job. Until and unless you understand the job and the duties involved in the job, responsibilities involved in the job, under what conditions the job is done, you cannot identify what is the contribution of the job. So to fix the wages and salaries for a particular job, first thing is the job has to be clearly evaluated and its contribution to the organization success. Basing on the job evaluation reports, the organization is able to fix the wages and salaries. If the job's contribution is very high, definitely the organization is going to fix high wages and salaries. The contribution is little, it is going to fix the salaries in relation to the worthiness contributed to the organization. So these are all different factors that will influence the wages and salaries administration in the organizations.